can't laugh. It's heard. Hi there, and thank you for all of your support. So if you guys want... I'm low-bat!
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, again. Sorry, again.
I'm low-bat.
Because my mom's talking.
I'm low-bat.
Wait. Okay, yes. Well.
Try to close the door. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, please hit that subscribe button and help me grow my YouTube family. So I have been so excited to film this video. We are almost at the end of 2019, and today I am going to present to you my top 10 best of Netflix. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about my favorite series, at least the top 10 that I watched in 2019. A couple of these were actually probably released in 2018, but I only watched them in 2019. So they are still on my list. So don't worry about any spoiler alerts. I'm not going to tell you any more than you can find in the trailers of these specific series. So when you go to Netflix and you know that there's a short paragraph that tells you basically what the show is about, what the series is about, right? That I won't give you any more information that is on those like descriptions. So no worries. Okay, so let's get into it.
Girls,
we run this mother. Yeah. Girls, we run this mother.
All right, so before I get into my top 10, I have special mentions. I have 4 shows that I need to mention that didn't make it to my top 10, though they were really good, and I would have put them in my top 10 if not for the fact that I only really got into them and really started feeling very passionate about them in the last episodes of their series. Meaning like these 4 started kind of slow for me and then got better and really good at the end. Okay? So these 4 special mentions are... Okay, the first special mention is You by Penn Badgley. It started really slow for me. It's a different format. There's a narrator. Penn Badgley is narrating. So it was kind of weird and very different for me. Very slow at the beginning. But then as I got into it, it started to get interesting. There were a lot of plot twists. And me and China, we watched this together. And we were like, what? And whoa! Like that. It started to get really crazy. And it really climaxed like halfway through. And at the end, like it really ended on a high. Okay, so You season 2 is coming really soon. The next special mention is 13 Reasons Why. I was really interested in what the next season would bring, but as I was watching the beginning, it was also like really slow and just, you know, lack of better terms, was just boring. Like, it didn't like grip me, it didn't hook me, and it didn't really compel me to watch more. But I asked my daughter China, because she was watching it ahead of me, I asked her like, should I pursue it? Because if it's just going to be like this throughout the whole season, I'm just going to stop, like how I do in some other shows that really don't grip me. I just stop. And she was like, yes, continue, because toward the end, I could see she was updating me. She's like, okay, it's getting really exciting now. So I just kept on. And true enough, toward the ending, you just really wanted to find out who the hell killed Bryce Walker. Okay, so started slow, ended good. Next special mention is Mindhunter. Oh, I feel like I waited decades for this next season. The last season was mind-blowing. I really loved it. I love this whole detective kind of stuff. I love psychological shows where you really makes you ponder, and makes you research, because a lot of this stuff is based on reality or true characters at least. So again, Mindhunter, the new season, started a little bit slow for me. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I wasn't like hooked right away for like maybe the first 3-4 episodes. But like the 3 last episodes were so good. Okay, and the last 3 episodes, the happenings in those episodes, they were based on true stories. So again, I did a lot of researching. So interesting. And yeah, so the slow start for me, or the somewhat boring start, was totally redeemed by that really fantastic, mind-blowing ending. The last special mention, which would have gone to my top 10, except that I have some issues with how it began with the first like half of the season, is Stranger Things. A lot of people are going to have issues with me not putting this in my top 10, but the reason is, okay, I mean, it was good. Of course, it was good. It was just that, for me, like, all the episodes were full of action and, you know, people chasing each other, people running away from the monsters and stuff like that. Every single episode was jam-packed with action. I wanted to see, in the beginning, more like character development or more interaction with the characters, like what we saw in the previous seasons. They were talking about, the previous seasons, there was a lot about the relationships of the kids with their parents and everything like that. This season was really mostly action, people chasing each other, running away and stuff like that. So I missed that. I missed like everything about their relationships and the character development and that. Having said that, the final episode is like a movie that is so exciting and so good. It was just like pure entertainment, and there was everything from action to love to drama to tears and everything, and the finale was just like the best finale ever.
Okay, sorry, but I totally forgot to mention Money Heist. Yes, season 3 of Money Heist. I need to insert this here. Again, it is just a special mention because I didn't like how it began. I thought like the beginning was very cheesy, very corny. I thought like some of the actors' acting was really like fake, very overacting, very OA, as we say in Filipino, it's OA. But it really got very, very exciting at the end, at the last few episodes. So this is a special mention. Season 3 of Money Heist.
Okay, so those are my special mentions. Now I will go to my top 10.
So since I recorded this video, I have been able to finish the latest season of The Crown. That's why I'm replacing what I recorded in the video with The Crown. I liked it. I didn't love it as much as I loved seasons 1 and 2. That's why it's only at number 10. I loved everything about Charles, about Margaret, about Prince Philip, who is hot in this season, by the way. But I wasn't into the Queen herself too much. Maybe it was about casting. I'm not so sure, but it just didn't do as well for me as seasons 1 and seasons 2 did. But still really good production, fabulous production, and still a really good season.
Number 2 is season 2 of Subura, Blood on Rome. So I love anything about Italian mobs, Italian mafia, movies about Italian mafia, about the mob. I love all of that. And this is like Italian mob, Italian gangster, and it's actually an Italian series, but of course you can like read the subs or you can listen to the dubs, but I don't like listening to dubs because I feel like you're stealing from the actors. You can't hear their true emotions. It just feels kind of fake to me, so I prefer to read subs. I'm just really into this series. Very cool, exciting to watch, and I waited a long time, for season 2 to come. And maybe like 50% or maybe 60% of the reason why I love it so much is because like one of the lead actors is so gorgeous. He's Alessandro Borghini. And let me tell you, he is hot stuff. Number 8 is a French series. It's called The Forest. Again, I watch it by reading the subs. So without giving too much detail away, it's like a mystery. There's a lot of psychological stuff going on, a lot of plot twists, very interesting, not boring, will keep you thinking and entertaining at the same time. Numero 7 is the assassination of Gianni Versace.
Yes!
Someone agrees. Okay, so we were late watching this. Nevertheless, it was very, very gripping, extremely interesting. Of course, because it's based on an actual true story about the assassination of Gianni Versace. Maybe 80% of my interest in this story is because the person who killed Gianni Versace, who is Andrew Cunanan, is half Filipino, and his father was really Filipino and may still be living in the Philippines if he's still alive. And of course, I love Darren Criss. Oh my God, I love Darren Criss, who's also truly half Filipino. And the guy who played Andrew Cunanan's father on this show is also a real Filipino who was a very famous theater actor who has played, I think, the engineer in Miss Saigon. That's John Briones. I also love Penelope Cruz. I love Ricky Martin. So this whole series was a dream for me to watch these actors. And the series was created, developed by Ryan Murphy, who is the brains behind Glee, American Horror Story, The People vs. O.J. Simpson, and a lot more. The series won a lot of awards and it really deserved it. I mean, the production was fantastic, really realistic. The acting was mind-blowing. Okay, Darren Criss did a fantastic job. He was just great, and he won awards for this show as well. Okay, so number 6 is season 3, unfortunately the last season of Versailles. So Versailles Again, it's based on history. I'm sure not everything was based on actual facts, but some things were, which made it really, again, interesting for me. I love anything that is based on actual happenings, actual events, or history, because it's a lesson also for you in history, okay? So this is about King Louis of France. I loved seasons 1 and 2, and I was so excited for season 3. And when I was done with it, I was like, oh my god, that's it. No more season 4. I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? Absolutely fantastic, filled with history lessons, filled with drama, filled with passion, and just really gripping. All right, so I'm down to my last 5. Number 5 is When They See Us. So this is based on a true story, and what they have said is that everything that is shown in the series actually really did happen. So it's a story about 5 guys from New York who were wrongly accused and sentenced to jail for the majority of their teenage life, and they were released eventually when they were exonerated, but it was too late. I mean, they had spent a considerable amount of time behind bars where naturally it was very difficult for them. This is a very hard, painful series to watch, but it's necessary, okay? It's necessary, especially, I guess, if you're American. I mean, I'm Filipino, so it may not really apply to me, but I'm sure like in the Philippines as well, people are wrongly convicted and sentenced, and if they don't have power, if they don't have money, they're just gonna rot there, and no one's going to help them. And you know, lives are wasted. Lives are wasted like that. So When They See Us is really necessary. It's a necessary watch for you to like open up your eyes to this issue, something that isn't really talked about. It's very compelling. It's super deeply moving, and it got me really obsessed about these 5 guys. They're called the Exonerated 5 now. They used to be called the Central Park 5 because the crime that they were accused for happened in Central Park. But now they're known as Exonerated 5. Oprah has an interview with them that you can find on Netflix as well. And like I said, it's just really compelling and really deeply moving. I did a lot of research about them after that, and then I followed them all on Instagram because like now they do like talks. They go around the US and they do an inspirational talks. I followed them on Instagram. I messaged one of them that, you know, your story really moved me, and he messaged me back. So that's When They See Us. Number 4 is another one by Ryan Murphy, the guy also behind the assassination of Gianni Versace and Glee, People versus O.J. Simpson and all of that. Okay, this is The Politician. Oh my god. This was so entertaining. It's like comedy, satire, but at the same time it's so realistic. Like some of the things that happen are just so over the top. So over the top and so hilarious, but in a realistic way. It's total entertainment, okay, but with moral lessons. You guys really have to check this out. It is called The Politician. Fantastic. And number 3 is the latest season that's available on Netflix of Grey's Anatomy. Pure drama isn't really typically my style. I like drama with murder, or drama with mystery, or drama with like, you know, gangsta stuff, but like pure drama isn't really necessarily my style. But Grey's Anatomy has been, I mean, it's like iconic because it's not so opera drama. It's like super realistic drama, like, and it has been successful for so long without getting bad, because a lot of series get bad after like maybe five seasons. Like they start to like feel like really forced, and you don't get into it as how much you were into it in the beginning. But Grey's Anatomy is that exception where you're still like really invested in the characters. So many seasons, 10, 13, 15 seasons afterwards, you still really feel for these characters. You still are rooting for these characters. You cry with these characters. You celebrate with these characters, and you're just really so invested in them as if they were your own family, or as if they were your own friends. I love every single character in Grey's Anatomy, and I'm so invested in them. I'm so attached to them, and I just can really relate to all of the raw emotions, the relevancy of the issues, you know, and still really, there are episodes still really that make me cry and episodes that make me laugh. So Grey's Anatomy will always just have, you know, a special place in my heart, and I'm so glad that they're not ending, that they've signed up, I think, for another 2 seasons yet. Okay, number 2 is season 2 of Dark. So this one's a German production. I loved season 1. I was so hooked on season 1. It's about time travel. Season 1 was a bit like Stranger Things, a German Stranger Things that was a bit more raw and not so stylized. It's a very, very complex stories with a lot of characters, like a lot of characters. So when I started to watch season 2, I was like, oh my god, I can't understand it. I can't understand anything anymore. So I had to rewatch season 1. And when I rewatched season 1, I got hooked all over again. So season 2 was not a disappointment at all. I must say though, it's probably not for everyone because it's very complicated. It's very complex. There are so many twists and there's so many characters that like interloop with each other. Like you really have to be very relaxed when you're watching it because your brain is really going to analyze stuff. But it's totally my cup of tea because it's really not basic. It's really not shallow. You know, a lot of mystery, a lot of excitement, and I just can't wait for the next season. And now I'm down to my number 1. My number 1 is Bodyguard. This was absolutely great entertainment. Okay, just the right mix of everything. Just the right amount of action, just the right amount of drama, just the right mix of everything. It was absolutely gripping. You want to really go from one episode to the other episode really quickly. You can't wait for the next episode to see what's gonna happen. There are 2 things that I really loved about it. First is that it's so unpredictable. Okay, it really, really gets you thinking. Is he or isn't he? Without giving out too much detail, okay? But it really gets you thinking. It's really, really unpredictable. You really want to know the answer to that question. And secondly, it is Richard Madden. Oh my god. I've loved Richard Madden since Game of Thrones. Like, he was my favorite character on Game of Thrones just because he's so gorgeous and like he's so like, you know, he's very serious and that jawline and he's like, oh, hotness. So I was really, really like sad when he was off of Game of Thrones. But in Bodyguard, you get another kind of Richard Madden, which is again serious, jaw clenching, you know, just like hotness. Okay, he acts really well too, and there's a really nice scene where he takes off his, and I was like, wow.
So embarrassing.
Anyway, yes, sorry, like, you know, he's totally Tita material. I loved Bodyguard. I could totally watch it again. I'm still waiting to see if there's going to be a next season. I really don't know how they can top the first season. You know, I mean, I think it's going to be difficult to continue that story since there was closure already. But just Richard Madden, I just want to see him again. Okay, and that's it, you guys. Those are my top 10 favorite Netflix shows for 2019 plus my 4 special mentions. And now it's time for my fun Filipino word of the day. My fun Filipino word of the day is a slang term, and it is kebs. Kebs means it's just okay. It's just average. Nothing special, nothing spectacular. It's just okay. So I might have put actually all of the series that I watched this year on the top 10 because sometimes when I start a series and it's just kebs, I stop and I don't continue. That's my fun Filipino word of the day, kebs. And my shout out today goes to Miss GB Ogayon. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, but hi, and thank you for all of your support. So if you guys want a shout out, please leave a comment down below or send me a message. So thanks guys, I hope I gave you some good ideas on what to watch on Netflix if you are looking for some shows to follow. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to me if you haven't, and follow me on Instagram as well. Thank you, I love you, bye!
变讲练的。